I decided to run Terrorized Andariel 1,000 times. This was all done online on ladder, so it took me 10 weeks to complete this video. But this is by far the highest number of notable loots that I've got while making a video. My gear changed a lot over the course of this project, but this is what I started with. An Oxy with an Ist Rune, Shaco with a perfect topaz, 27 Mares, Spirit Monarch, 32 Viper Magi with a perfect topaz, 39 Chances, 30 Nagel Ring, Arachnid Mesh, a Stone of Jordan, and perfect 50 Magic Find War Travelers. I was also using a 40 Magic Find Guide, a 71 Coal Sunder, 2 Skillers, a 14-29 Annihilus, a 16-19 Torch, and a bunch of small charms giving me Magic Find and Resist. That brings my total Magic Find to 400 flat, and I'm just above the 105 FCR breakpoint. As for my build, I'm a generic Blizzard Frozen Orb Sorceress, and my Mercenary is using an Eth Reaper Stole, Fortitude, and Andy's Visage. With that being said, let's get into it. On run 4, Andariel dropped 2 items, a unique belt and a unique Colossus blade. The unique belt is Razor Tail, which is one of the best belts in the game for Javazons. The unique Colossus blade is the Grandfather, which is a very cool looking sword, but it rolled with almost minimum enhanced damage of 151 out of 250. Then on run 7, I found one of the best items in the game for Sorceress, the Oculus. This is exactly what I'm using right now. Everything on this weapon is amazing except the chances to teleport, which can be extremely annoying sometimes. On run 11, Andariel dropped one of the best helm in the game for Act 2 Mercenaries, Andariel's Visage, and it rolled very good with 9 lifesteal, 148 enhanced defense, and 28 to strength. 3 runs later on run 14, I found a very cool set Sacred Armor for Barbarians, Immortal King's Soul Cage. This armor is not best in slot at all, but it's the hardest to find piece of the Immortal King set. Then on run 25, I found something absolutely amazing. Yes, this is a unique diadem, Griffin. This is my first Griffin this ladder, and it rolled quite acceptable with minus 19 light resist. This is by far the best helm in the game for a Nova Sorceress and Javazons. It has a base drop rate of about 1 in 5,152 Terrorized Andariel runs. On run 28, Andy dropped a unique Grand Charm, and I can't pick it up, so it's a Guide. What is the first Guide going to be? 145, 14, 25. Not too bad for gold find. Guide number 1. Then on run 30, I found a very good shield for Sorceress until you get your hands on a Spirit Monarch. Lidless Wall. Early ladder, this is a very viable option, and this is the best in slot shield for a Nova Sorceress because of the mana increase. 7 runs later on run 37, Andariel dropped the best Magic Find boots in the entire game, War Traveler. It rolled with pretty low enhanced defense but 44 Magic Find, which is quite good. On run 40, Andy dropped another unique Grand Charm, and again, I can't pick it up, so it's a Guide. How is this one going to roll? 136, 13, 37. That's not perfect at all, but it's still very good. Guide number 2. On run 53, I found one of the best belts in the game for hardcore characters. Vardungo's Hearty Cord. Faster hit recovery, a lot of vitality, replenish life, and damage reduction. This is absolutely excellent for hardcore players. 3 runs later on run 56, I found 2 things, a unique helm and unique flying axes. The unique helm is Tarn Helm, which is obviously not endgame at all, but it's incredible for a low level character. 1 to all skills and up to 50 Magic Find at level 15 seems crazy to me. And the flying axes are Gimmer Shred, and it rolled with very high enhanced damage of 207 out of 210. This is a very good weapon for throw barbarians. Then on run 65, I found a very nice Grand Charm. What is this going to be? +1 to bow and crossbow and some very little poison damage. Nothing crazy, but skillers are always nice to find. Then 4 runs later on run 69, I found something to use with that skiller, a unique Colossus crossbow, Hellrack. With all the elemental damages, this is one of the most powerful crossbow in the game. On run 79, Andariel dropped a very nice unique ring. What is it going to be? Raven Frost with 216 attack rating and 20 dex. This is a very nice roll. On run 83, I found some unique javelins that can be very good for throw barbarians. Demon's Arc, and it rolled with acceptable enhanced damage and lifesteal. This is very good when paired with Gimmer Shred that we found before. Then on run 87, Andy dropped a set armor for Amazons, Mavina's Embrace. This is not best in slot at all, but always nice to find. On run 98, 3 things dropped at the same time, a unique Sorceress weapon, a set helm, and a unique Grand Charm. The set helm is Russia Mask, and it rolled with very low defense. The weapon is Escuda's Temper, and the stats are absolutely terrible. And the Grand Charm is 11 Physical Sunder. This is an amazing Sunder charm. 5 runs later on run 103, Andariel dropped something very nice for me. Yes, a Ghoul Rune. Ghoul Runes have about 1 in 11,000 chances of dropping from Terrorized Andy. Then on run 116 I found something that I found a few runs before. Yes, a sorceress weapon again, Escuta's Temper, but this time with 3 skills and 20 fire damage, which is amazing. But unfortunately it rolled with only 21 to energy. On run 119 I found some very cool unique weapons for assassins, Fire Lizard's Talons and its Eth, but unfortunately it rolled very low on everything. Then on run 137 I found a bunch of things, unique gloves, unique boots and a unique armor. The unique gloves are Mage Fist, which is one of the best gloves in the game for casters. The boots are Sandstorm Trek, which are the best in slot boots for a Nova Sorceress. But unfortunately it rolled absolutely terrible on everything. And the armor is the Gladiator's Bane, which is a very good budget mercenary armor, and it rolled with low enhanced defense but very high damage reduction. On run 149 I found a very niche unique helm for barbarians, Wolf Owl, and it rolled with very low on the skills but maximum 15 on strength and dexterity. 3 runs later on run 152 I found a very good unique belt for melee characters, String of Ears, but unfortunately it rolled very low. On run 164 Andy dropped a very good unique helm for Amazons, Valkyrie Wing, but it rolled absolutely terrible with almost everything to the minimum. On run 172 I found a nice unique Brute belt, Cerebus Bite. It rolled very high on enhanced defense, lifesteal and attack rating, but unfortunately quite low on the skills. Then on the next run 173 I found my favorite unique gloves to identify, Draco's Grasp, but sadly it rolled very low on all the stats. 2 runs later on run 175 Andy dropped 2 items at once, a set helm for barbarians and unique thrown weapons. The set helm is Immortal King's Will and it rolled with only 31 magic find. The unique weapons are War Strike and it rolled with only 1 enhanced damage from Perfect. The increased attack speed, piercing attack and deadly strike make this a very good weapon for throw barbarians. On run 179 a champion ghoul dropped a unique Grand Charm and I can pick it up, so it's a Sunder. What is this one going to be? 77 Cold Sunder, that's pretty good. On run 202 I found the best weapon in the game in terms of resist, Wizard Spike. If you are playing single player and you need to boost your resist to clear some parts of the hell difficulty, this weapon might save your life. 75 all resist is a big total of 300 resist points, which is absolutely crazy. 5 runs later on run 207 Andariel dropped a very nice unique amulet. It's the only amulet that gives deadly strike in the game. Yes, High Lord's Wrath, this is an amazing amulet for melee characters. Then on run 209 I found a very defensive and hard to find unique belt for druids, Spirit Keeper. It has a lot of elemental defenses, but I don't think it has any use case. It has a base drop rate of about 1 in approximately 7,000 Terrorized Andariel runs. On run 216 I found a very rare unique legendary mallet, Schaefer's Hammer. It's one of the only weapon in the game that has chances to cast static field on striking, which makes it a very powerful weapon. It has a base drop rate of about 1 in 11,000 from Terrorized Andariel. On run 232 Andariel dropped 2 things, a unique armor and a unique shield. The unique armor is Tooth Row, which is a very good armor for PvP. The unique shield is Spirit Ward, which can be very useful to proc fade. Then on the next run 233 I found the second best item in the game in terms of magic find, Blade of Alibaba. With 2 Ist runes it can give up to 159 magic find. The only item with more magic find than this is a weapon with 6 Ist runes. That would give 180 magic find. On run 237 I found a very good budget helm for Act 2 mercenaries and melee characters, Crown of Thieves. It's nothing crazy but good enough to clear the hell difficulty. 4 runs later on run 241 Andariel dropped a unique jewel, the first facet of these runs. What is it going to be? 5-4 Fire Death facet, not too bad. Then on run 250 I found a unique Spired Helm. Which one is it going to be? Nightwing Veil? Well no, only Veil of Steel. This is useless, so it's very disappointing. On run 251 Andariel dropped a nice pair of unique boots that give a very nice bonus to life, Water Walk. This is not best in slot at all, but still very good. Then 2 runs later on run 253 Andy dropped a unique ring. What is this one going to be? Another Raven Frost, and this one with 19 dex and 237 attack rating. That's a very good roll. On run 265 I found a very good unique Ogre Axe for Act 2 mercenaries, Bonhu, and it rolled with 317 enhanced damage out of 320. The Prevent Monster Heal is very useful and the 2 sockets make this weapon very versatile. Also level 16 Bone Spear deals about 150 damage and procs half of the time, which makes this weapon a lot better than it seems. Then on the next run 266 Andy dropped the rarest unique amulet in the entire game. Yes, it's Metal Grid, and it rolled very high with maximum all resist of 35. That has a base drop rate of about 1 in 8,000 Terrorized Andariel runs. By the way, only about 11% of my viewers are subscribed to my channel, so if you like my videos, feel free to click on the subscribe button. Thank you so much. 2 runs later on run 268, Andariel dropped 2 things at once, a unique champion axe and a set amulet. The unique champion axe is is Messerschmitt's Reaver, which is very cool to find, but I'm not sure if it has any use case. And the set amulet is Talrasha Amulet. Very nice for Sorceress, especially single player or early ladder. Then on run 271, I found a quite uncommon unique Zakarum shield for paladins, Dragon Scale. Unfortunately, level 10 Hydras are very weak and the shield is only useful if you need to fight fire enemies. On run 278, Andariel dropped two things, a unique amulet and a set belt. The unique amulet is Saracen's Chance, which is better than nothing, but it's only a placeholder until you find something better. And the belt is Strangle's Belt, which can be very good for barbarians farming Travinkles because of the Can't Be Frozen stat. Ravenfrost has cold damage, so barbarians could shatter enemies, but this belt solves this problem. 5 runs later on run 283, I found the best in slot gloves for physical characters, Laying of Hands. It's not uncommon at all, but it's always a nice find. On run 290, Andariel dropped the weapon that has the highest amount of mana steal in the entire game, Ghost Flame. That weapon can get up to 15% mana steal, which is a lot for a single item, but other than that, it's not very useful. Then on run 301, Andariel dropped a nice unique jewel, a facet. What is the second facet of these runs going to be? 3-3 Light Death Facet. That's terrible. On run 308, I found a pretty good and very rare unique bone visage, Giant Skull, and it rolled with maximum 35 strength and 2 sockets. The knockback effect makes this especially good for Boazons, and you can even put 2 1540 jewels in there to maximize damage. 10 runs later on run 318, Andariel dropped a bunch of stuff. A unique Phase Blade, a unique ring, and a unique Shadow Plate. The unique Phase Blade is Lightsaber, which is a pretty good weapon with all the elemental damages. Also, the 25% lightning absorb can make it especially useful against Ubers. The ring is Nature's Peace. The Slain Monsters Rest in Peace stat is very useful because it prevents monsters like Nil Attack to use the corpses of dead enemies with Corpse Explosion. So if you farm Nil Attack, you absolutely need this ring. And the armor is Steel Carapace, which I'm not sure has any use case. On run 353, I found a nice pair of unique mesh boots for Amazons, Silkweave. The 5 mana after each kill makes these boots very useful for Javazons. On run 372, I found 2 unique items, again for Amazons, unique javelins and a unique belt. The unique javelins are Titan's Revenge, and it rolled with quite high enhanced damage but minimum lifesteal of 5. The unique belt is Razor Tail, which we found before. Also, I'm now playing Nova. My gear is pretty much the same, but I'm using a low Infinity, a low Griffin with a perfect topaz, and a CTA in my weapon swap. On the next run, 373, Andariel dropped the helm that gives the highest amount of resist in the entire game, Tyra's Guardian, but unfortunately it rolled with only 52 all resist out of 70. Then on run 382, I found the weapon that gives the highest chances of crushing blow in the entire game, the Cranium Basher. 75% crushing blow is absolutely insane. That has a base drop rate of 1 in about 9,000 Terrorized Andariel runs. On run 394, Andy dropped another unique jewel, facet number 3. How is this one going to roll? 4-3 Fire Death Facet. Very bad, but it's still very cool to find a facet. 5 runs later on run 399, some monsters in Andy's room dropped a unique Grand Charm, and I can pick it up, so it's a Sunder. What is this one going to be? 74 Fire Sunder. That's very nice. On run 416, I found a very nice unique Conqueror Crown for Barbarians, Halberd's Ring, but unfortunately it rolled absolutely terrible on every stats. On run 420, Andy dropped a unique Grand Charm, and I can't pick this one up, so it's a Guide. How is this one going to roll? And 124, 10, 36. That's a pretty good Guide from Magic Find. Guide number 3. 9 runs later on run 429, Andy dropped 2 things at once. Boom! A Shamroon. Yes! Shamroons have about 1 chance in 43,000 to drop from Terrorized Andariel, and the other item is Wraith Flight, which I'm not sure has any specific use case. 2 runs later on run 431, Andy dropped 2 items, again, unique gloves and a unique amulet. The unique gloves are Dracul's Grasp, and this time it rolled very high on everything. The unique amulet is Crescent Moon, which can give up to 15 mana steal and 6 lifesteal, which is crazy. On run 442, Andy dropped 2 unique belts at the same time. The first is Gold Wrap, and it rolled with very high gold find. The second belt is Verdungo's Hearty Cord, which we found before. On the next run, 443, I found a very good unique champion sword, Doombringer, but unfortunately it rolled anti-perfect. That was one of the best weapons in the game back in Lord of Destruction before Rune Words. On run 447, Andariel dropped a nice unique amulet. What is this one going to be? Middle Grid, and again it rolled pretty good. 10 runs later on run 457, I found one of the most sought after item in the game, Early Ladder. Yes, Shaco. Unfortunately it rolled with very low defense, but it doesn't really matter. On run 462, Andariel dropped another Phase Blade. Is this going to be the lucky one? Yes, Azure Wrath. It rolled very low, but it doesn't matter. Azure Wrath is always nice to find. It has a base drop rate of about 1 in 7.5 thousand Terrorized Andariel runs. On run 473, I found a unique weapon that I've never seen before. Flesh Ripper. The minus to target defense, crushing blow, deadly strike, open wounds, prevent monster heal, and slow make this weapon very powerful against Declone and Ubers. 5 runs later, on run 578, Andariel dropped a set Grand Matron bow. Mavina's Caster. This is not a very good bow, but still nice to find. On run 521, I found a pair of unique Scarab Shell boots from an elite pack of tainted monsters. Sandstorm Trek. It didn't roll very good, but it's still acceptable. On run 527, a normal afflicted monster dropped a Grand Charm. What is this going to be? +1 to masteries for barbarians. Nothing crazy, but it's always cool to find a skiller. 10 runs later, on run 537, Andariel dropped a very nice fire amulet, the Rising Sun. The fire absorb is so big that fire spells like the Hydras from the council members in Travs will literally heal you. On run 544, I found one of the best weapon in the game for Act 2 mercenaries, the Reaper Soul, but unfortunately it rolled right in the middle in terms of enhanced damage and lifesteal. On run 552, Andariel dropped a unique jewel, again another facet. Will this finally be a perfect one? Well, no, only 5-3 poison. 2 runs later, on run 554, I found a unique giant thresher with a lot of lightning properties, Storm Spire. It's pretty uncommon, but I'm not sure if it has any use case. On run 555, Andy dropped a Druid Pelt that I've not seen very often before, Raven Lore. It rolled quite high on the enemy fire resist, but unfortunately only 15 to all resist. It has a base drop rate of about 1 in 7,000 Terrorized Andariel runs. 3 runs later, on run 558, Andariel dropped another unique jewel. What is facet number 5 going to be? 4-5 Fire Dead Facet. That's pretty good. Then on the next run, 559, I find something that I found not too long ago. Yes, another unique Druid Pelt. What could this be? Oh, it's Raven Lore, again, with the same enemy fire resist of -18 but a little bit more all resist this time with 19 out of 25. On run 568, Andy dropped one of the best shield in the game for paladins, Herald of Zakarum. Skills, block rate, attack rating, strength, vitality, and all resist, all the stats on this shield are really good. It has a base drop rate of about 1 in 7.8 thousand Terrorized Andariel runs. On run 592, I found one of the best helm in the game for Act 2 mercenaries, Andy's Visage, again, and it rolled with acceptable stats. On run 602, Andariel dropped 2 things, a unique shield and unique boots. The unique shield is Moser's Blessed Circle, which is not best in slot at all, but if you play single player and you struggle in hell, you can put 2 perfect diamonds in there and pair it with Wizard Spike and you will be invincible. And the boots are Gore Rider, which gives pretty cool offensive stats with Crushing Blow, Deadly Strike, and Open Wounds. On run 653, a monsters in Andy's room dropped a unique Grand Charm. What is this one going to be? 74 Fire Sunder. That's very good. Then on run 656, it's Andy's turn to drop a Grand Charm, but not a unique this time. 1 to summoning skills for Druid with 12 faster hit recovery. FHR would be better on something else, but it's still a very cool find. On run 663, Andy dropped a very nice unique belt that has 2 very uncommon properties. Nosferatu's Coil. The 10% slow and 10% increased attack speed are very interesting. The only other belt with 10% slow is Arachnid Mesh, and the only other belt with 10% increased attack speed is Gold Wrap. On run 668, I found 3 things: unique gloves, a set assassin's weapon, and a unique Grand Charm. The charm is a 75 Cold Sunder, which is a very good find. The set weapons are Natalia's Mark, which is pretty uncommon but nothing special, and the gloves are Mage Fist, which we found before. On run 682, I found an excellent Act 2 mercenary helm that we found twice before in these runs, Andariel's Visage, but this time it rolled much worse. Then on run 695, I found another pretty good unique helm that has the same model as Andariel's Visage, Blackhorn's Face. The lightning resist, lightning absorb, and 20% slow make this helm very useful against Ubers. On run 704, Andy dropped another Grand Charm. What is this one going to be? 1 to Shadow Disciplines, better than nothing. On run 712, a unique gold dropped a very nice unique Demon Hide armor, Skin of the Flayed One. This can be a very good budget armor for PvP because of the lifesteal and replenish life, but unfortunately it rolled very low. 9 runs later, on run 721, I found a unique Barbarian helm that we found before, Halberds Ring, and this time at least it rolled a little bit better. On run 725, Andy dropped a very good unique Amazon's Crossbow. Buriza. That was one of the most powerful weapon in the game back in Lord of Destruction before Rune Words. On run 747, Andariel dropped 2 things, a unique shield and a unique jewel. The unique shield is Black Oak Shield, which can be very useful if you need to absorb cold damage. The facet is unfortunately only a 3-5 poison death, and just in case you were curious, the small charm is useless. On run 751, something happened out of nowhere. My Thunderstorm spell one-shotted a Dark 1 normal monster, and a unique weapon dropped. It's Alibaba, and it rolled with 15 dexterity Dexterity, that has about 1 chance in 1.7 million to drop from a Dark 1 monster. 4 runs later on run 755, Andariel dropped a very nice unique battle belt for Sorceress, Snowtlash, and it rolled with chances to cast level 19 Blizzard, which is the maximum, but almost the minimum enhanced defense. On run 780, Andariel dropped a unique legendary mallet that we found before, Schaefer's Hammer, again for the second time, but this time it rolled with minimum enhanced damage of 100. 5 runs later on run 785, I found a unique shield that could be pretty good if you need cold resist, Medusa's Gaze, but unfortunately it rolled with minimum cold resist of 40 out of 80. On run 826, Andy dropped a nice pair of unique boots for assassins, Shadow Dancer, but unfortunately it rolled with only 1 to Shadow Disciplines. Then on run 832, Andariel dropped some unique weapons, again for assassins, Bartok's Cutthroat, and it rolled very high with 194 enhanced damage and 9 lifesteal. On run 852, I found by far the best belt in the game for casters, Arachnid Mesh, and it rolled almost perfect with 118 enhanced defense out of 120. This is an amazing find. Then 2 runs later on run 854, Andy dropped a unique Grand Charm, and I can't pick it up, so it's a Geed. How is Geed number 4 going to roll? 98, 15, 32. Well, that can be used as a gamble Geed. On run 864, I found a very good budget armor for Act 2 Mercenaries, Duriel Shell, and its F. The strength, life, all the resist, and the can't be frozen stats make this armor very good while leveling. On the next run, 865, Andy dropped my favorite gloves, again. Yes, it's Dracul's Grasp, but unfortunately it did not roll very good. Then on run 870, I found one of the best helm in the game from many different characters, Shaco, again, but this time it rolled with almost perfect defense of 139 out of 141. Very nice find. On run 874, I found a very uncommon unique War Pike, Steel Pillar, but unfortunately I don't think it has any specific use case. 3 runs later on run 877, Andariel dropped an armor that I always love to identify, Ormus Robes, and it rolled 14, 13, 11 with frozen armor. Better luck next time. Then on run 903, Andariel dropped a Grand Charm, and I can pick it up, so it's a Sunder. Is this going to be a good one? Yes! 72 poison! That's an amazing Sunder charm. On run 920, I found the item that gives the highest amount of physical damage reduction in the entire game with 35%. Storm Shield. This is an absolutely amazing shield, especially for hardcore players. On the next run, 921, Andy dropped a unique ring that gives Lightning Absorb. Yes, Wisp Projector. The Light Absorb makes this ring especially good against Ubers. Then on the next run, 922, I found a very good budget armor for Act 2 Mercenaries, Guardian Angel, and it rolled almost perfect enhanced defense with 199 out of 200. This armor is very good to make your mercenary pretty much invincible when doing trav runs. On run 937, Andy dropped a unique Grand Charm, again, another Sunder. Is this going to be a good one? Well, yes, 75 Light Sunder, that's acceptable. On run 951, Andy dropped 2 things, a set Colossus Blade with a facet. The set weapon is Bulkado's Sacred Charge, which is uncommon but not very useful, and the facet is 3-4 Light Death Facet. Terrible. And then on run 983, Andy dropped one of the most sought after armor in the game early ladder, Viper Magi, and it rolled amazing with 33 all resist out of 35. This is a very nice find. And that's it. That video was really fun to make. I found a lot of very nice things in there. The amount of interesting drops I got from Terrorized Andy is about twice as much as from Terrorized Mephisto. So if you are wondering on what terror zones to do next ladder, I really suggest to focus Andy. Again, if you like my videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. That would help my channel so much. Massive thanks to all the channel members who are supporting the channel. Thank you so much for all the support. And thanks to all of you for watching this video until the end. And as always, happy grinding.